Hi, Jonathan here. Today is 30th of May 2022. The time right now is 12:06 a.m. and we have a high. All the US major indices all broke the recent high. So now the question is how much higher can it go for this week? So let's take a look at the market. So this week, what are we going to watch out for? This week, do remember that this is the last week of May and this is also the first week of June, the last month of the second quarter. And of course, as every first beginning of the month, we got the time of the month, the non-farm payroll. So on Friday, we have the non-farm payroll. This number will be highly watched by Uncle Powell. We also have Monday, a public holiday. So it's going to be a quiet Monday before all the volatility comes in on Tuesday. Like mentioned last week, we should have the bearish market, a bullish market, and we had that bullish market rallying into a 3-day weekend. Okay, right there. Okay, so now we're going to see whether we have data on Friday. We got Wednesday minutes meeting last Wednesday, which is on Thursday morning, and Bullard will be speaking this week again, right there. Okay, on Thursday early morning, and we got the Chinese PMI and of course the Eurozone inflation data. Let's take a look at the calendar. As I mentioned just now, Monday somewhat quiet. So will there be a continued float higher or a profit taking? I won't be surprised if Monday is a slight profit taking, and that's good. Now, when I say slight is, I'm still hoping to be like, remember last time I say small black candle and suddenly become big black candle? No. You don't want a big black candle. You just want a small black candle. And then on Tuesday, perhaps we should have a continuation of a bullish. How much higher? We'll take a look at the chart later. On Wednesday, nothing much except in the evening where we got the ISM numbers. And then on early Thursday morning, Bullard will be speaking. Okay. Will he turn Berat? So we'll see. And then we got a few Italian holidays. And on Friday, we have the non-farm payroll. Okay, so watching that out very, very closely. And of course, Saturday, we got a treasury currency report. So June 4th is a number that we'll be watching closely to see how's the treasury sales. Now, let's take a look at the VIX. Do you notice that I was mentioning about this resistance price rejection, and we nicely came down? We have now come to a possible classical support in VIX. So watching this very, very closely. Remember the tips I gave you about Tesla on this day, saying on Thursday, saying that we have a bullish engulfing, and tips that I said mentioned about Google. If you didn't notice about that tips, you should be in Telegram gathering of traders. I post my daily market analysis there, and I post out whatever tips that I've seen about US stock movement or generally market outlook. So if you are not in Telegram gathering of traders, do remember to go to Telegram, search for Telegram gathering of traders, and that's where I post my market updates. Okay, and let's take a look at S&P, SPY. Look at how nicely bullish is this. Okay, now let's take a look. We all nicely broke the high on Thursday and Friday, broke this recent high. And remember the last week YouTube, I mentioned that there are signs of bullishness because when all the Dow, S&P, and Nasdaq make a lower low with a bullish divergence, Russell didn't. Russell in fact make a higher low, and we broke a higher low and we now have a higher high. So in other words, Russell is the first one to turn around. Majority, that means 2,000 stocks, major stocks in US are turning up. That means the underlying is now strong, and that's good news. Okay, so now let's take a look at postmortem S&P. We now is still a lower low. Yes, we now have a higher high. So the only way we can say that the S&P is safely on uptrend is when it makes a higher low, because we already got a higher high. Okay, so that means potentially this could be a chance of a change in trend from a downtrend to perhaps an uptrend. So now the question everyone is asking, how high can we go? How high can we go perhaps before it starts to go down? Do take note that right now, if you are not in position in S&P or even US indices, do take note that on a short-term wise, we are very close to overbought. That means if you are entering, let's just put it this way. Last week, don't dare to enter because it can go lower. But now you're looking to enter because you think it can go higher. Did you realize that most traders basically most retailers felt that when it's cheap, don't dare to buy, but only wants to buy when it's expensive? Remember when Bitcoin was at 60,000, when everyone is jumping in saying that Bitcoin, if I don't jump in right now, is going to go to 100,000? Oh well, based on right now, it's not a surprise that a lot of people are shorting. Nobody dares to long before last week. And everyone right now is wondering, should I cut loss on a short position, right? So let's take a look. Right here, I mentioned that previously there was a private YouTube that was broadcasted out, accidentally broadcast to public, so I left it on public. I said that there's the chance where for those shorting, you would have cut loss because that's the high. I also mentioned that this is the trend line that you have to watch. And we nicely broke that trend line on Thursday, Friday. Like it or not, however you draw that trend line, it is still the same. We broke that trend line, okay, on Thursday and Friday. So that's the first sign of bullishness, okay? Now, how high? Well, it's gone, okay, old story. So now the question is, forgot, I need to change to a different template so that you can see what am I looking at. These are the 20, 50, 100, 200 EMA and 200 SMA, okay? Let's draw the Fibonacci. That's the short-term Fibonacci right there. And that's the longer-term Fibonacci from the January high till today, okay? Now, you will notice one thing, okay? Do you notice that both these Fibonacci coincide around this level, which also coincide with the prior resistance, prior support, prior support? So, looks like potentially if we can go higher, that will be the high that you really have to watch out very, very closely at about 4134 to about 4322, thereabouts, because it coincides with a lot of prior resistance, prior support, Fibonacci, both short-term and longer-term resistance. So that will be the numbers. But does it mean that tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, it will continue to go higher to here? No, I'm not saying that. Do remember, whatever I shared is my personal opinion. If you like to trade, please do your own due diligence. It won't be surprised if we do have a pullback anytime to form a higher low before we reach here. That will be the ideal scenario. But then, of course, if we do go higher non-stop, that will be the resistance to watch out for. So I'll be watching this level of resistance for possible very strong profit taking, or perhaps some minor shorts to go lower, continuation of a higher low to go even higher. It is possible. Now, it is also will not be a surprise if by the time the price catches up to here, we got the 200 EMA, the orange line coming to here, the 100 SMA coming to here, or in fact, we can even go before that close to the 50-day moving average. If you take a look on the weekly candle, the support resistance are so much clearer. And if you notice that the last 2 to 3 weeks, the YouTube, I said that if we can go lower, entice more people to short before going up, we had that. We got the combination of very strong 3 candles, bullish candles right here. Not only in S&P, but also in the NASDAQ bullish candle. I know this is on hindsight, but then I already mentioned that, right? So if we take a look on the weekly candle, the problem is the weekly candle. So anytime during the week coming down, the weekly candle may not reflect or may reflect. If you take a look, this is a very nice 3 candles combination in Nasdaq weekly candle. So it would be great if Nasdaq can continue to go higher. Not clear as much, but it will be somewhere around here. But do take note, this is a weekly candle. Okay, so Nasdaq very strong resistance will be at about 18,400 to about 13,400 to about 13,500. So watching that levels very, very closely. Okay, that's the good news. Okay, the bad news, of course, is on a short-term wise. On a short-term wise, we are close to overbought. So won't be surprised if we do have a pullback. Okay, that comes up to a higher low. And the good news is, because of that, it also helps Germany to break the high. We broke that high, and Germany is now a higher high, higher low on a short-term wise. That's good. The bad news, we are also very close to that 200, acting as a resistance. We also have the UK continuously very strong, supported by this 200, continuously going up. Now, what hasn't break up that much is actually Hang Seng. Hang Seng, we broke out from this high. That's the good news. The good news is also we haven't break very much from that high. So they are possible that Hang Seng may have some upside continue up, upside leg that it can still go higher. Okay, so watching Hang Seng very, very closely. At the same time, I'm also watching the China A50. Okay, because we haven't break that recent high yet. We are still in higher low. We still don't have a higher high. So we may have to wait for a breakout. Every indices in the world broken up to the upside, broke the previous high. Can it continue to go higher? Yes, but on a short-term wise, I won't be surprised if any of the day in this week is a black candle, and that's good. So that if the next day the bullish candle can kill the black candle, that's bullish move, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to having any daily black candle for the bulls to overcome that obstacle. That's the summary for indices. Now, take a look at US dollars. Nicely went lower. It came down a lot. It is going to be very hard to draw this Fibonacci, mainly because it's going to be very far. So to draw this Fibonacci at this moment, it is not realistic. But if I say that this Fibonacci started the run from here, it is not very ideal way to draw, so I will not draw this Fibonacci. But what am I watching at is actually the weekly candle. We have the monthly candle. We have a very strong price rejection on all this resistance zone right here in US dollars. So I won't be surprised if we come down a little bit before it goes up. So it is possible for that. But why am I talking about US dollars? Mainly because if US dollars can drop, it will be a very high time for gold to start going higher. Right? Now, why am I watching? I've been talking about gold. You see the bullish candle, this money pot candle, money pot hammer, it's been bullish, yes. But I think the real move hasn't come in yet, because we have a Bollinger squeeze at this very moment in gold. So that means volatility in gold should be coming up very, very soon. Breaking up or breaking down, we have no idea yet. But based on this chart pattern, it won't be surprised if it wants to break higher soon, provided US dollar helps to go lower. Okay, so which is why I am watching gold and of course silver very, very closely. But gold has a omnibus 3 candle monthly price rejection. So could it be that this candle will start to push and break this? I won't be surprised, but I'll be watching the gold and silver very, very closely. Okay, it is not as nice squeeze as compared to gold, but then silver daily candle also have that Bollinger squeeze. So volatility should be coming in very soon in gold and silver. Watching this very, very closely. Okay, now could it be that it is being resisted right here? It is possible, but I'm still watching this very, very closely. All right, now I'm not watching currency as much. I'm not watching currency as much, mainly because it is also we are in a short term on a because of US dollars, kind of overbought. Not only the short term and the mid-term stochastic, kind of overbought. So I won't be surprised if we pull back to form a higher low. That will be a very good opportunity to long euro dollar, pound dollar, or the major currencies, looking out for the signal. That means the US dollars will be forming a lower high. So watching that out very closely. Another one that should have major volatility is crypto. Okay, Bitcoin. Look at that squeeze. I know that major cryptocurrency and altcoin has been dropping. The confidence level towards crypto has been hit tremendously since Luna, Terra, USD. So perhaps there would be one more downside to because of that confidence level. Okay, if you take a look at the Bitcoin versus Ethereum, you will notice that both are having the squeeze, but Ethereum is slowly losing its grip, coming very close to this support. And I won't be surprised if this starts to break. So same thing as Bitcoin, seems to be the strongest. This is like the father figure of crypto, isn't it? Bitcoin. I know a lot of people say Bitcoin, that's old story. Why you want to invest in Bitcoin? Because invest in all those alt currency is so much better. The returns can give you 100, 200, 1,000%, whereas Bitcoin is old story. It's like Bitcoin is like Warren Buffett. You want to be like Warren Buffett? No, the new generation should be like Elon Musk, isn't it? So go Elon Musk, don't go Warren Buffett. It's old story. Yeah, but the grandfather is still the grandfather, right? So that's why the whole entire crypto, when people have lost confidence, they look towards the father figure, which is BTC USD. Nobody dare to look at BTC UST. Am I right? If you do look like BTC UST, I think you see the chart, you'll vomit. Okay, but then there it is, the strongest one. So the only probability that perhaps the confidence in crypto will come in is when it break higher than 31,400. Maybe at least the confidence level can come back. But if Bitcoin cannot go higher than 31,400, it's not easy for crypto to go higher. All right. So this week, overall in summary, I'm watching the indices for continuation to go higher. I'm watching to see daily candle turns black. That's good. Small black, not big black. And I want to see whether the next 1 to 2 days after that daily black candle, can the bulls kills that black candle. And I'll be watching gold and silver very, very closely for a possible potential break higher. So waiting for signals. Till next week, Jonathan, stay safe. Bye.